Ladies and gentlemen, seekers of truth and knowledge, welcome to a one-of-a-kind experience that will take you on a captivating journey beyond our world. Today, we have a special treat for you as we sit down with the renowned Andromedan Contactee Alex Collier. Prepare yourself for a rapid-fire question and answer session that delves into the depths of cosmic wisdom and unveils the mysteries of the universe. As always, please remember to like this video and share it with your friends and family. That way, it gets seen by more truth seekers. So, without further ado, here are today's rapid-fire questions and answers.
Why exactly is 2032 being heralded as the golden age?
I have no idea. I don't believe it's going to take that long, frankly. I genuinely don't know. I mean, I've heard all the rumors, but I myself have not been given a date by the A's, nor have they hinted about anything else. You know, extraterrestrials have a very difficult time telling time here because they don't live in our time. They don't live in our reality. And you know, all of those dates, or any date, is predicated on our consciousness, which is constantly changing every day and shifting every day. I think that date may have been something that existed on another timeline. You know, like John Teeter, the time traveler. You know, he gave some very specific information, and that was a real scenario. He was a real person, but that was on another timeline. That timeline no longer exists. We're not on that timeline anymore, which is why those things haven't occurred. So, you know, we're constantly shifting and changing. Humanity is not moving in the direction of a date, 2032. Humanity, what's happening is that the universe is moving towards the consciousness of humanity. It's actually the other way around. As we become more and more awake, the universe is coming to us with the data, the knowledge, and the experiences. We are literally drawing it to us, back to us. Remember, before we came to Earth, we were there. We were on those other dimensions. We were in those other civilizations. We came here, we have amnesia. As the amnesia is slipping away and falling away, and we are beginning to remember, we are drawing all that we know back to us. We're not going to it. It is coming to us, as a point of fact. Which is why it's so important to know what you want. Okay? Because you draw it to you. Energy flows where focus goes.
Would you happen to know if there are or have ever been in history other Andromedan souls, such as yourself, who have have been authors, artists, or musicians whose works would reflect that consciousness? With much gratitude.
That's a really good question. You know, Mornay has not shared with me who those others are. I do know that they had all been contacted, those particular souls, and were asked to speak. I was for about 2 months in contact with one of those people, and he was living in Argentina at the time. And we were emailing. This was in the 90s. And he felt a lot of pressure to do this, but his family was adamant that he not do this because they felt that they were going to be endangered. And there is something to that. And I didn't blow smoke up his ass. I was very open with him about the issues that I was having at that particular time and what was going on, surrounding coming out at that particular time with the way the consciousness was on the surface. And he balked. He bailed. He was just like, no, I'm not going to do this. So I couldn't. I couldn't bail. But no, to this day, I don't know who they are. And that was done for everyone's protection. And I get that. I totally get that. Maybe in the future that will change because, the consciousness of humanity is changing and the dark side, it no longer has a grip on humanity. So as humanity realizes they're no longer under control or the influence of the dark side, and they start to open up their minds and think for themselves, maybe there'll be a time. I would love to meet them, sit down and have dinner, and we could all talk about Mornay and Visayas. Well, I know we all got Visayas stories. Got to have Visayas stories. I would love that very much. That would be enlightening for all of us at that table, for sure.
I understand there are ancient Pleiadians from the planet Deneb who are at a level right before you leave physical reality altogether and join the Oversoul collective, Oversoul energy back in the planetary collective. What dimension would that be, and can you explain what that means?
Okay, when you're talking about leaving physicality, are you talking about third density, fourth density, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11? Now we have 12. I'm not sure exactly what you're referencing. If you're referring to third density, and I'm assuming that, then that physicality would be lower fourth, where you still have some contrast. It's not as extreme as 3, but you still have some contrast. So, disregarding the contrast, that's where they would be. Now, if it's fourth, then they would be in lower fifth, where there's even less contrast. And the same would be sixth, if they're on sixth. So I don't know how to answer that question because it needed to be framed just with a little more information as to what you were referring to. Now, those beings that are not in physicality, the way you describe it, you almost could be describing a ghost or a demonic entity as well, because they're just outside that physical range where the energy is present, but not the physicality. And we would all experience the energy, but not the physicality. So it's an intriguing question. I wish we knew more.
Since our souls are eternal, when we ascend to fourth and fifth dimension and our avatar gives out, do we have a choice to come back and help the next generation?
I would believe that would be a yes. That you would always have the ability to make a choice of where and what you choose to experience, since that's all part of the journey of the soul. I don't know that we'll be on third. It's very likely we will be more in fourth density, but I'm sure you would come back. I would probably want to visit lifetimes from now. Um, I have Earth fatigue, frankly. So I've heard they have some absolutely gorgeous beaches and oceans in Antares. So I'm thinking that's where I'm going to go next for a vacation, you know. And I say that, but I really don't know for sure. It sounds enticing though. Um, but yeah, you will have freedom of choice to do whatever you want, or go home, or hang with your soul group, your homies in your soul group to do whatever it is you want to do. I mean, we're going to be actually creating our own reality. It's going to be what we want. So, in order to answer that question, you need to know what you want. Simple, really. You know, what will you want at that time? You might enjoy not being in a physical body for a while. You might want to take a break. Remember, being in spirit is not linear. You are not stuck in linear time when you're in spirit. When you're spirit, when you're soul, you can jump past, present, and future. You're not stuck on a linear timeline. Only in physicality are you on some type of a linear timeline, you see. So you're not limited to when you want to come back. Many of us came back in time to right a terrible wrong, which is why we're here now, you see. So that's your first clue. You're not in linear time as a soul. You got options. You got a lot of options, and you will have a lot of things to consider, which is good, which is really good. You just need to know what you want, and you won't know until you're in that moment.
Are there fifth, sixth, and seventh dimensional Orion group who still believe in control and tyranny? Or did the A's find themselves lowering their frequency in the future, which created tyranny in their future?
Outstanding question, because I've heard all these things about the planets being invaded by hybrid six dimensional draconians. And not happening. Can't happen. Won't happen. Okay? Because they don't, there is no contrast on sixth density. There is no contrast like that. And yes, there was a shift in the frequency in 5D that was created by by something occurrences that were happening in 4D, which dramatically started to draw energy from 5D, which is how they realized there was an issue. And the issue on 4D was coming from 3D, and it was coming from our solar system. Because, so we will cover this again, this was the key to it. Humanity is a collection of different soul groups from multiple dimensions. If you've done any research on the Blue Brain Project, which I've shared with you, you would know that there are multidimensional structures inside every single one of us that are on. They're turned on. So that's part of the soul. That's your soul connecting with your higher selves in other places. Well, they figured out a way, this group here, to draw energy from those higher dimensions because we're still connected to them. You see? That's what triggered this. This darkness, Clever bunch. Very, very clever bunch. And I think that's why Source is like, whoa, this is not going to happen. That it really, whatever this was meant to be, it went off the rails because we started drawing energy from, which we can do, from these other places, and it was dark. It was a dark energy, and they were drawing it here. And what that was, it was lowering the frequency of fourth and fifth density. It was a draw, which is why when I said to you earlier today that, you know, the universe is coming to us because we want, the awakening process is drawing our future to us. But we were not consciously aware of this. We were being used to siphon energy that could be converted into power by these regressives to be used interdimensionally. There you have it. It's all energy. It's all consciousness. Everything. Everything. And sometimes it's hard to remember that because the physical illusion is so strong.
If a person wants to send positive vibrations out to humanity, is it better to focus on symbols, focus within, or focus on sending out?
Something that I was taught by Mornay, which I do several times a day actually, is that when I get real quiet and I can hear my frequency, my song, what I do is I project that frequency, that song from my heart to the sun. I send it to the sun with the intention that the sun send it back tenfold to the planet. That's what I do. Because now I know every living thing on the planet gets that. Even that which is in the planet, because the waves, the gamma rays, and the frequency of the sun penetrates the planet as well. So that's what I do. You may want to try that. You may want to bounce it off the ionosphere or the moon and send it back. I like the idea of the sun because we all know the sun is light and its power, and most people really enjoy the sun, and therefore I don't have to work so hard to give everyone a blessing. You know, the sun kind of does it for me. So that's just what I do.
I heard you say the human race was created as a peace treaty. Can you explain more about this, please? Thank you so much.
Humanity, Terrence, our humanity, represents not only soul groups from all the dimensional levels, with the exception of 12. I don't know that there's 12 density beings incarnated here at the moment. If there are, I don't know. But I do know that there's 11. 11 down to 4. Humanity also represents 22 of the oldest races, galactic star nations in our galaxy. Now, the currency of the realm is life. It's DNA. It's not gold or silver. It's DNA. It's life. And we will have a very unique place as humanity matures through this process, as we regain our personal power, as we regain our knowledge of who and what we are, as we begin to remember through the turning on of our 12 strands of DNA, the 10 remaining strands of DNA, we will begin to remember all of our soul journeys. Many of us will have a decision to make whether or not to incarnate into our previous star family's genetic material, or to stay in this particular genetic material, the Terran race. When we're talking about creating change, when we're talking about representing change or the ability to be an ambassador to the galaxy, based on the perception of how the galaxy is already run, it's only logical that once we reached a specific maturity level, that we would facilitate or begin to facilitate that role as negotiators, as peacekeepers, as elders, sages, Jedi, whatever word you want to use. Just by virtue of everything that we are. And I realize for most right now, hearing this, we don't know what that is exactly yet. And I get that. But you will. You will. You will. And it's at that point. And you know, Visayas actually mentioned this a long, long time ago. He said it was possible that our race would be called peace, a planet of peace. That we would go from where we are, where we've been, to a place where we're known as the planet of peace. So that's what that was in reference to. I hadn't thought about that in a long time. So thank you for bringing that up.
If we stay on this planet in 5D, not sure if we do, would we still be in our homes and property?
That's an excellent question. You and I will find that out together. Do we manifest different lodging? I would think we could. I will tell you this, and I will absolutely share this with you. We know for a fact that the Earth is expanding. Any idea why that's happening? I mean, we understand the mechanics of it, but the mechanics of it is that when you go from third to fourth density, your space expands. Your space expands. And then when you go from fourth to fifth, your space really expands. So bigger is better. The Earth will be much bigger, huge. in fourth density, she's going to be bigger than she is now. At least half, at least half as big, if not completely as big, double the size it is now. That's going to happen. It's going to happen gradually because we're moving from 3 into 4, but we're already seeing the expansion of the planet. Okay? And she's not doing that to dust us off. She's doing that to make room for more of us. You understand? Don't listen to the fucking media. Oh my God, they create all this stuff using fake numbers. They tweak their models so that they come out horrendous so they can punish and blame us because the people that have been running this planet are insane. They're lunatics. They're absolute lunatics. And how that happened, wow. We just can't ever let it happen again. Not here or anywhere. We just can't.
Can you talk about
Yeah.
the moon landings? Were they real, etc.?
Yes, we did actually go to the moon. And we are still on the moon. Okay, the military was there before NASA. The Russians were there. The Nazis were there before anybody. Okay, yes, the moon landings were real. They didn't know what was going to happen, so they did the staging things. They did the the movie thing. They didn't know if passing through the Van Allen belt, if the astronauts were going to die. They didn't know if the film would even be usable. They didn't know anything. Okay, because the Safari space fleet was not sharing any information whatsoever. Any information whatsoever. So, these guys went to another planetary body in a tin can. In a tin can. And, you can think whatever you want. They're some of the bravest sons of bitches that have ever lived. And I mean that in all adoration. And a lot of what they saw on the moon, there was no way they could share. They were never going to be allowed to. The Apollo mission that came from behind the moon, hey Houston, there is a Santa Claus. Who do you think they just made that shit up? They just, hey, there is ET. No, they were seeing it. They were following it. The astronauts, when they sign secrecy agreements, non-disclosure secrecy agreements, some of those have life or death penalties to them. In case you didn't know that. And they take that shit very, very seriously. They do. People die of accidental deaths all the time when they're actually hits. So, yeah, they went to the moon. They did. They did.
There you have it, fellow truth seekers. An enlightening and exhilarating rapid-fire question and answer session with the remarkable Alex Collier, sharing his profound encounters with the benevolent Andromedan extraterrestrial beings. As we continue on our cosmic journey, let us embrace the wisdom of the Andromedans and carry their message of love, unity, and compassion with us. Together, we can create a world where humanity stands united, ready to embrace the wonders that await us in the vast expanse of the universe. If you found this rapid-fire question and answer session fascinating, don't forget to hit that like button and share this video with your friends and family. Subscribe to our channel and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on more captivating content like this. Thank you for joining us on this incredible adventure. Until next time, may the stars guide you on your path of enlightenment and exploration, and remember to always seek knowledge and stay curious. If you would like to see Andromedan Contactee Alex Collier live via video stream, we host an online seminar 3 times a month on a Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. For more information and dates of upcoming online seminars, please visit alexcollier.org. Please click on one of the above videos to seek more of Alex Collier's knowledge.